Old Roblox is an era wrapped in nostalgia. It's the birthplace of classics like Natural Disaster Survival and Work at a Pizza Place. But I recently stumbled upon an archive that proves something abnormal has been hunting players in the shadows for years. This is the mysterious story of the Moon Cult. The story begins when I was scrolling on YouTube and discovered a strange channel named MCI Archives. The channel only seems to have 3 videos. I went over to the community post tab to find out more, and it looks like they are documenting anomalies that players have experienced. One post documents players experiencing a sudden change from day to night in Flood Escape. But the strange thing is, Flood Escape doesn't have a day/night cycle. The exact same thing happens in their next post, where it shows players experiencing nighttime in Natural Disaster Survival, which again, doesn't have a day-night cycle. Furthermore, the island where the disasters actually happen doesn't even seem to be there. Then, I saw their next post, which reads, "Breakthrough. We have just been sent groundbreaking raw footage. This is by far the best evidence we have obtained yet. We are currently putting the file through a verification process to prove legitimacy, and if it is found to be unmodified footage, it will be archived here." The video is titled EveBun771 Footage. The video starts off with a user named EveBun771 joining her friend CoolBlue2002 in a Roblox mall tycoon game. They explore the mall and plan to complete the game by saving up for a badge. The video seems completely normal at first, but it quickly becomes clear that something is seriously wrong. When they go outside, it's nighttime, but Mall Tycoon never had a day/night cycle, and when you look at the sky, the moon seems to be slightly moving, which is unusual because the Roblox moon normally doesn't move. When they get back inside the mall, they try to continue the game, but things start to break down. Eve purchases a grill and a stove, but they completely disappear. They play it off as a bug and keep going. However, things just keep getting worse. The badge button and even the cash register disappear. She's mad, but she's determined to finish. As the video goes on, an eerie ambient noise begins playing in the background, getting louder and louder. Eve finally goes outside, and she sees this. I was caught completely off guard by this. There's a lot to uncover here. The moon they saw earlier wasn't just slightly moving, it was getting closer and closer toward the map the entire time, with the ambient noise getting louder to signal its arrival. Then, the Roblox mall text suddenly changed to the word leave, and we hear heavy footsteps approaching her, meaning she was being surrounded by a group. Looking at the description, it reads that the organization was sent this recording by a user named Evelyn, which is probably Eve's real name. It becomes clear that this group is dedicated to hunting some anomalous moon cult, hence the name Moon Cult Investigations, MCI. They have uncovered that the main sign your game is being targeted by these entities is that the world turns to night and the moon gets closer and closer. The organization also notes they are trying to get in contact with Eve's friend but have failed, and they ask the viewers for help, linking her profile. When we go to the friend's profile, it seems normal at first, until you notice an empty t-shirt that costs over 3 million Robux. The description is a bunch of scrambled letters, but it turns out to be a YouTube URL ID. Putting that ID into a link leads to an unlisted video. This video shows CoolBlue's perspective from when Eve went outside. In it, we see that Eve was approached by a bunch of grey entities. However, we still don't know what they are. The description reads, "I really didn't think I would ever see them again, even in someone else's recordings. But I knew this wasn't an isolated incident. I need to know how the hell Evelyn is still here today. It's exactly like when they took him. I know there are more. I know they took more, and they could still be taking more as I write." It becomes apparent that the uploader has experienced these grey entities before, and it went poorly since he surprised Eve is even alive. I decided to go back and check Eve's Roblox profile. It looks normal at first, with a basic description about bunnies, but her username seems to be tagged out. Considering she made her account in 2012, the only social media site that allowed 6-letter usernames back then was Tumblr. Searching her username on Tumblr, we managed to find her account. On it, she had posted a link to Blue's YouTube channel. Going to Blue's channel, she had posted a video called Returning. She seems to be playing just another casual tycoon game, but the sky suddenly turns to night, just like it did before. Blue jumps onto the store conveyor and shouts to the empty server,
"You're here. What did all of you do to Eve? She had to go home from school that day because she kept crying. Answer up!"
However, as she looks up at the sky, the moon is getting closer. She cries out,
"I saw all of you people. I caught it on video. Just because you're a creepy group of hackers doesn't mean you can scare me anymore. Why are you still following me? I didn't even come on here to talk to you people. I just wanted to play Roblox again. Why would you even join me if you wanted us to leave the last time?
Think about it. The last time the cult appeared, they started destroying the game mechanics to force the players to leave. But in this game, the mechanics were fine. This meant one thing. They wanted Blue to stay this time. The moon is just about reaching its full, massive size before Blue declares she wants to log off. But suddenly, Eve appears in the chat. She says,
"Hey Emma, let's play a bit longer."
Blue begins typing.
Eve, why the hell are you here? You said you wouldn't ever play the...
But then, something hits her. If Eve was that traumatized, why would she come back so calm? Blue checks the player list and notices something terrifying. She's completely alone in the game. She immediately panics and leaves. The description of that video says,
I haven't played this game since when Eve and I first saw them, but after this, I don't think I'm ever going to again. I talked to Eve and said it wasn't her in the game.
Watching this, it's reasonable to assume the Moon Cult is capable of disguising themselves as other players and even obtaining personal real-life information. Considering the Eve entity knew Blue's real name was Emma, the cult stalks players who stay in the server long enough for the moon to get dangerously close. Looking back at the Moon Cult Investigations channel, the guy behind it may have also stayed too long. The channel uploaded a new video called Investigation Update, where the head of MCI speaks to us about how he created a specific Roblox game to track the Moon Cult. By the end of the video, he says something chilling.
I'm alive right now, so there's no need to try it. You'll only be putting yourself at risk.
Implying there is a real risk of being unalived when investigating the cult. I tried to go into the game myself, but thanks Roblox. Fortunately, I watched a YouTuber named Lily try to solve the puzzle behind the game's signs. There was text encrypted with a Caesar cipher. When decrypted, it said, "The wall to the right is fake." Going through that wall leads you to a tool that allows you to check the location of parts in Roblox Studio. There is a platform hidden high up in the game that he manages to reach. When he scans the part, the properties reveal a Google Drive URL ID. Putting that link into a browser leads to a folder named Carter. It contains a PNG file named Ezra and a text file named What Started It All. The text file is pretty long, but to summarize, in February 2020, the narrator, Carter, and Ezra were staying up late playing a Roblox obby. Ezra wanted to log off, but Carter wanted to finish the game. As they neared the end, the game turned to night and the moon kept coming closer. To finish the obby, they had to jump off of each other to reach the final platform. Ezra made the jump successfully, but Carter missed and fell into the void, leaving Ezra trapped alone with the moon. Upon respawning, Carter found the final stage had been completely deleted, leaving Ezra trapped on the winning platform. Before Carter could even type, "Sorry," unknown grey entities fell on top of Ezra, causing him to vanish. After that night, Ezra disappeared from real life as well. 6 years later, Carter still feels massive guilt for forcing Ezra to stay online, and he is actively investigating the incident. The PNG file in the folder is Ezra's Roblox avatar. Carter made multiple community posts asking people to spread the word and share evidence, and he even started emailing Eve about her experience. Shockingly, Carter attached a Trojan virus to his email to Eve, allowing him to access everything on her computer because he believed she was holding back info. It wasn't malicious, but it shows just how desperate he is. In the screenshot of the virus log, we can see Carter's email address, and using that, we can find his Roblox account under the same name. His profile description reads, "This is my last time logging in here. I've unadded everyone. If this account adds you, don't accept. It's not me. I've left Roblox. You know how to reach me if you don't. Ask my other friends. I can't put it in here. I don't want them to find me." This was Carter's old account. The cult was hunting him. The channel then uploaded a new video titled Temple of Thea. This is where Eve went after she was cornered in the Tycoon game. The game takes place in a dark palace where she is surrounded by the grey entities, all promising her joy and saying she will be safe in Thea. Suddenly, she sees a giant grey entity, the leader of the Moon Cult, which I will refer to as Thea. Thea approaches and tells Eve that she interrupted a meeting. This means when a game turns to night and the moon arrives, the cult is actively holding a meeting in that server, which is why they try to force players to leave. Eve apologizes and says she wants to log off, but Thea wants her to stay to live the life she always wanted. Eve calls them creepy, but she proceeds to tell her about the planet Thea, the real-world planet that collided with Proto-Earth 4.5 billion years ago, forming the Moon. She claims that life on Theia flourished before the collision, and she was the sole survivor. Left powerless and incapacitated, she had to wait an eternity for human technology to progress until it was advanced enough to use as a vessel. So, Theia is a real-life cosmic entity using the Roblox client as a digital vessel. She wants to use this technology to move everyone to the remnants of Theia, the Moon. She tells Eve life there will be better than she can imagine. Eve still refuses and tries to leave, but the entity says, "Rosie is here with us." Rosie was the pet bunny Eve talked about on her Roblox profile. Eve doesn't believe her and tries to escape, but Theia tells her she doesn't have a choice. The video cuts to black. In the description, Carter is clearly stressed out. He sees what happened to Eve and wonders if the same thing happened to Ezra. He has no idea how Eve survived while Ezra didn't, and Eve won't give him any more answers, probably because Carter gave her a PC virus. However, the video has two hidden captions. One is a Caesar cipher that decodes to, and then the grace of heaven which was stolen from her. The second is an image link that decodes to show a news report of a massive power outage in Nebraska. That is what saved Eve. The power outage cut the electricity to her PC mid-game, preventing her from meeting the same fate as Ezra. The channel's final upload was a live stream named Confrontation. In it, we see Carter on his old Roblox account, the one tracked by the cult. He is playing the tracking game made by the head of MCI, and he has a debug tool ready to use against the entities. He stands there waiting. Suddenly, the game turns to night. He immediately fires the debug tool at the Moon, but nothing happens. The properties aren't showing up. His plan is failing. Carter types into the chat, "What did you do to him?" referring to Ezra. Suddenly, Ezra joins the server, and it doesn't seem to be a mimic either, because he actually appears on the core player list, unlike the fake Eve that Emma encountered. Carter talks to him, asking if it's really him. Ezra says it is. Carter warns him that the cult is in the game and they need to log out right now. But weirdly, Ezra says it's fine. This makes Carter suspect it's another fake. Carter demands he prove he's real. Ezra responds by accurately stating Carter's real name, his birthday, and a deeply personal fact that only the real Ezra could have known. Carter asks what happened to him and where he went. Ezra explains that they took him to the palace of the survivor and took care of him. They knew Ezra was a constant target of hostile spirits in the real world, referencing the file where Carter mentioned Ezra's severe fear of the paranormal. He says the survivors digitalized his soul, which would have been Eve's fate too if that Nebraska power cut hadn't saved her. Overwhelmed with emotion, Carter asks Ezra to promise that if he comes with him, they will be together again. Ezra promises and walks his avatar directly into Carter. Carter is instantly teleported to the Temple of Theia. The leader looks down at him and says, "You have finally returned." Carter isn't having any of it. He demands, "Where did Ezra go? What did you do to him?" The leader ignores him, saying Carter has returned to their safe haven and that everyone is welcome in Theia. But she adds that Carter is a different case. He has a price to pay before he can be fully accepted. Carter doesn't care about their cosmic plans. He threatens to pull the plug and turn off his PC if they don't bring Ezra back right now. But a prompt pops up. His PC is completely locked down and unable to be shut down. Carter's avatar begins violently glitching and the video cuts out. That was the channel's last video. We don't know what happened to Carter or Ezra after the stream went dark. After watching everything that transpired, here is my definitive theory on who the Moon Cult actually are. 4.5 billion years ago, an ancient race lived on the planet Theia. Most of them died out when it collided with Proto-Earth, with the debris forming our moon. However, one powerful survivor was left incapacitated on Earth, waiting thousands of years for human technology to evolve. Eventually, technology progressed enough for Roblox to be created. She infiltrated the platform, creating the Grey Entities and the Moon Cult, using random game servers to host her cult's meetings. The movement of the moon signals their arrival. If a player stays in the server long enough for the moon to reach the map, the Grey Entities rush them, hijacking their client and teleporting them to the Dark Palace. Once there, Theia digitalizes the player's soul, trapping them inside the network forever as a member of the cult. This is what happened to Ezra in 2020, what happened to Carter during the livestream, and what would have happened to Eve if a literal storm in Nebraska hadn't shut her computer down just in time. Let me know your theories about the Moon Cult investigations in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.